Langille, VP of Exploration at White Gold, joins me now. Dylan, great to meet you. Before we get into White Gold proper, there's been some pretty major news that we should touch on. You are planning to spin out your portfolio of critical minerals projects in the Yukon in Canada into its own vehicle. Could you give us a bit of a sense of what these projects involve and why you think they'll make such an attractive unit by themselves?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on. So a couple weeks ago, we announced that we're spinning out a handful of properties to a new spinco. These properties, there's six of them. They have prospective copper, moly, tungsten, and other critical metals targets on them. So we're at a stage in the company as White Gold where we had 21 properties under our portfolio, and that can sometimes be a double-edged sword. It could be quite difficult to focus on all of that land package, but it can also be difficult to um, focus investors and other people in on what you're trying to achieve with that size of a land package. So ultimately, we decided that uh, we wanted to focus have two focus streamlines, one on our gold assets and one on those critical mineral assets. So we decided to form a new vehicle where these critical mineral assets could get their own technical team, get their own funding, and drive exploration down its own path, aside from what we already have with all of our gold assets.
Well, let's speak about your gold assets, your eponymous White Gold project, which I believe currently comprises 4 known deposits. Could you give us an introduction to this project from your perspective as the geologist on the ground?
Yeah, so as you said, it's 4 deposits. Those are our flagship assets. They're referred to as the Golden Saddle, Arc, Ryan Surprise, and VG. And those are hosted on our white property and our QV property, kind of at the center of our claim package in our portfolio, about 60 miles south of Dawson. So as it stands today, those 4 deposits are all open pit, near surface, high grade gold deposits that comprise of 3 million ounces at an average grade of 1.4 grams per ton. What's particularly interesting is that the meat and the potatoes of that 3 million ounces, so roughly 2 million ounces, is contained in the Golden Saddle deposit. And that's got a high grade core of 1.1 million ounces at almost 3 grams per ton. And then it's got another 700,000 ounces at almost 5 grams per ton. So it's got a really robust high grade core that comes right to surface and is all contained in an open pit, which makes it a really economic and attractive gold mine.
Can you catch us up on the work that's been done to date across the land package that you have and maybe what those next few steps look like?
Yeah, for sure. That'll be good context actually leading up into 2026. So all in all, across all 4 deposits, there's only been a total of roughly 90,000 meters of drilling done on those deposits to bring us to 3 million ounces, which in the grand scheme of things is really not a lot of drilling. And 60,000 meters of that 90,000 has focused on Golden Saddle. So when we look to the other 3 deposits, being the Arc, Rhine Surprise, and VG, each of those deposits have only really seen 7 or 8,000 meters of drilling. And it's clear to see that there's significant room for growth given that we had more meters to work with. So when we look at the mineralization at all 3 of those systems, there's opportunity either along strike or down dip along plunge to extend those known zones of mineralization. For instance, the arc as it stands today is defined along 1.5 kilometers in strike, but really only tested down to a vertical depth on average of about 120 meters. So there's significant room there to put another series of drill holes, 200, 300 meters, to pull that resource down to say 300 meters vertical depth. And when we look to Ryan Surprise off to the west, we see significant room for growth east and west along strike of this stacked vein system that has only seen limited drilling to date. And we see a similar scenario to the north on our VG deposit, which to date has only really been defined down to a vertical depth of 225 meters and has significant room to add some drilling as well.
So, Dylan, I understand that there are some results pending from 2025 drilling. Could you tell us when we can expect those and also what exploration in 2026 looks like?
Yeah, so there's a few more holes to be released on Golden Saddle and the Arc. We released one of the 5 drill holes drilled in 2025, and I think they were really positive results. And we still have 2 drill holes on Golden Saddle and 2 on Arc. And I think that those results should be out hopefully in the very near term. And really, what those drill holes were targeting were the high grade mineralization in the footwall zone of Golden Saddle, as well as the main zone, and then the mineralization that we see being captured in our new geological model in the hanging wall. Over at the Arc, we did 2 step-down holes looking to test the down plunge extent of the Arc mineralization, which will kind of feed into 2026 and our decision to drill the rest of that 1.5 kilometer strike length at depth.
Sounds like you've got a lot ahead of you, and we certainly hope we can do a live cross at some point to get a look at the land that you're working on there. Thank you so much for your time today, and looking forward to picking your brain more as this spin out develops, as does your exploration in the field.
Okay, thank you. Pleasure being on.